Greetings, LEGO fans, and I know, I look just like Ammon McNeff. But can I at least be hot Ammon McNeff? I've been really trying, babe. Now, I promise the next episode of Retro LEGO is well on its way and due to be released next week, but I just wanted to touch on something that I found really heartwarming. In the midst of all the drama, negativity, and anger surrounding the Bricks and Minifigs situation, it's nice to have those little moments where we remember why we love this hobby in the first place. Now, last week I made my first video discussing the whole Bricks and Minifigs scandal, and it just so happens that that evening, Chrystal and Ben Gorman, who are the original franchise owners of the Keizer, Oregon store, went on a live stream. This was with the folks over at Making Law Simple, or MLS for short, who have been doing a really good job of tracking all the minute details of this unfolding story. And in the middle of that stream, they showed Chrystal and Ben a portion of my video. And guys, seeing her reaction in real time was totally surreal. Take a look.
So this is Kelton Davis. Apparently he has a LEGO YouTube channel. And so the title of his video is why this Bricks and Minifigs scandal is so personal to him. He talks about the fact that he's from American Fork. He drives through American Fork. Have you guys seen this?
From Utah. I've seen some of his other stuff. I went on to his and put a comment because he's like, I don't want this to represent everyone from Utah. And I went in and said, like, I do not blame the people of Utah for what has happened. A lot of good people in Utah. I know a lot of folks who are Mormon, they're good people. So he really appreciated that comment.
I think this he dropped earlier today. I think this might be the spot that I'm looking for. I didn't put a time code in, so we'll see.
In April of 2024, I was on a business trip in the Portland and Salem area, and I happened to stop by the Keizer location. I saw the Mansell collection with my own eyes. In particular, I saw the sealed version of the very first Death Star, and I thought, how do these guys have this? This is amazing. Of course, I couldn't really afford any of the sets that I would have been interested in, but the thing that did catch my eye was a used copy of the Bandit's Secret Hideout.
By the way, I have this. I built this on the stream once. I didn't realize that this thing is as valuable as it is. I have it used, so it's $133. But anyway,
listen, it took me 2.5 weeks to dig those parts out of a bulk buy, and I built that thing myself.
It's now deconstructed back in the bin again, but I did build this on the stream once.
Western theme that I didn't have yet, and so naturally I was very interested in that. And Chrystal was the one working the counter that day. They were having a 15% off on LEGO sets over $100 that day, so I actually got a really good deal on that set. And it just so happens that getting that set was the inspiration for starting the Retro LEGO series on this channel. It's a bizarre coincidence, but it made this story feel much more real from the get-go.
And he also lives in American Fork. So again, I'll put his channel in the chat and then later in the description if you guys want to check it out.
Yes. Absolutely. The world is small.
Yeah, it's a very small world, right? I just happened to stumble across this stream today and I was like, oh, how interesting.
Can you do me a favor and send that to me?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I haven't seen that. I'd love to watch that.
That's really
I will send it now.
I love that's the kind of stuff that that's the thank you. I'm not gonna cry.
Yeah.
No,
I'm gonna cry.
Are you building Lego or chopping onions? What's going on?
There's no crying in Lego.
Now, I definitely recommend watching the whole stream, and I'll link it down in the description. Chrystal and Ben go on to share tons of different anecdotes and tidbits that bring a lot more life and information to this whole story. Chrystal then watched my whole video and left a comment, where we had a nice time reminiscing over that little encounter. And it's now the pinned comment on that video. Ben's comment that he mentioned in the stream can also be found in that comment section. It's moments like this that make me realize just how small of a world it really is. Both of us had no idea that our paths would somehow cross in such a bizarre way a few years in the future. And now the set that sits proudly on my ceiling train system has much more of a history behind it than I ever knew, having been personally pieced together by someone who would eventually become a key player in a worldwide controversy. You can't make this stuff up. And here it is, still bringing me joy every time I see it. I've also had a bunch of people reach out through email sharing their own connections to this story and how it's affected them. And I really came away from this whole thing feeling much more of a sense of solidarity within the LEGO community. Sometimes the things that bring us all together are the injustices that affect us all. Some of those who reached out were current franchise owners who wanted to share something that I found pretty interesting. Apparently, for the months of June and July, you can have the corporate royalties removed from any purchases that you make at a Bricks Minifigs franchise store. I'll put the instructions for this in the description of this video. It's not something that I think I will personally do, but it's something that I think could bring relief to some of the innocent franchise owners in the middle of this whole mess. As far as updates to the whole story, it looks like Reckless Ben has a hearing on June 30th where he'll be able to argue his side of the case and possibly get the TRO thrown out. I'm personally hoping that that means we'll be able to see part 3 of his saga very soon. And in the meantime, guys, you can expect a return to my regular content next week. And until then, keep building.